I wanted tonight to do something that very few politicians do. And Beth does this a lot, and I really do appreciate that. And it's speaking from your heart. And to share what's on my mind and what's in my heart. Because for 6 months, I've been praying. I've been praying that somebody would step forward, a viable conservative choice would step forward, and offer their services to be a candidate for the United States Senate. Because I think it's very important that before you can lead, you need to listen and you need to learn. If the good Lord blessed us with 2 ears and 1 mouth, it's a pretty interesting ratio in it. We need to be listening more and talking less. And just to give, I know we're amongst friends, because everybody in here believes in things that are greater than themselves. That God is greater. Amen. That this country is greater. Amen. That Texas, our communities, our families, our friends are greater than we are. And that's what really defines us as conservatives. That's what sets us apart. So we're amongst friends. And there's a lot of new friends. So I do want to just give you a little bit of background information because it's very important for any choice that we make moving forward. And I grew up in a small town just northeast of Dallas called Pittsfield, Massachusetts. And in fact, when I ran for the state senate, we were in Bellevue, Texas. And I had taken on a long-term incumbent. He'd been serving 18 years. And he spoke first this particular night. We had about 25 of these days. And he stepped forward and he went off script a little bit. And he said, I want to tell you right now, this man here, he's nothing but a carpet-bagging Yankee. So I sit over here and I have my 5 minutes of prepared remarks, Julie, and I forget about all them. And I have to go off script myself. And I wanted to say, sir, do you realize that people in this room just elected a Manhattan billionaire? Civil War is over. We are united for the conservative cause. So I had to mitigate that, and I did that by telling a little bit of a joke about Pittsfield, Mass. And then I said, you know what, so while I do believe in transparency, so while I did grow up in New England, I became a man in Texas. But what brought me down here, my parents are retired school teachers, and they taught us the value of a hard day's work and how to earn. Never taught us, isn't it interesting? Never taught us how to envy, which is what the Democratic Party is basing their entire premise on nowadays. But they taught us to earn, and they taught us the value of an honest buck, and to work hard for your goals and be persistent and treat everybody like you like to be treated. And try to spread joy. And I try to spread joy. If you drive too slow in the fast lane, it's very difficult to spread joy. But I try, so I fall short sometimes. But nonetheless, those are the values that I took. And I wanted to get into the University of Notre Dame as an 18-year-old kid. That was my dream. And Notre Dame didn't want me at first. So I went to another university, got my grades up, got my act together, and reapplied. And they took me in. So while I got in the side door, it doesn't say on that diploma that I'm a transfer student. Thankfully. But anyway, that taught us something. And then I joined Air Force ROTC. Practiced a little football for Lou Holtz at Notre Dame. And he's been a great mentor to me and a wonderful friend for 30 years. In fact, a couple years ago, he did a fundraiser for me for free and flew from Florida as an 81-year-old man. Think about what that says about him. For a reserve player he had 25 years ago. And Coach Holtz, every one of his former players, has a little impression of him. You know, he has that little lisp. And he looked at me and said, Pat, I'm going to tell you something, son. I used to tell my players if they give me everything they had for 4 years, I'd be with them for the next 40. And Pat, the 40's almost up. Which is fair enough. But he taught us that you could dream and dream big, but you have to plan and then you have to execute that plan. Dreaming is not enough. You have to take action. And then you get the best leadership training you can get in the world in the United States military. And I got 8 years of that as an ROTC cadet and then as an officer when I was commissioned. And then after I served in Wichita Falls, Texas. Shepherd Air Force Base. Which, little did I know in 1991, 2021 that Wichita Falls and Wichita County would be in Senate District 30, a seat that I ran for, and that did help quite a bit. We have 14 counties in Senate District 30, parts of Denton and Collin, and then all of Grayson, Cook, Montague, Wise, Parker, Jack Young, Archbald, Palapino, Erath, and Wichita counties. Those are the 14. And you should know them all. We have 105 cities, and I'm not going to do that. And 111 school districts. But I got to Wichita Falls in accounting and finance as a second lieutenant and was asked a series of questions when you went process. And this is very instructive to why Texas grows and we have prosperity. Sat me down and asked me a series of questions, one of which was, what state would you like to claim residency in? I'm 23 years old and I don't know a lot, but I thought I did. And I sat up a little straighter and proudly said, Massachusetts. And she put her pen down. And she said, the state of Massachusetts has I think it was 5.6% state income tax. The state of Texas does not have an income tax. Amen. And she picked her pen back up. And she said, what state would you like to get a residency? And I said, Texas. And I've been here ever since. And we've grown. And then something happened, you know, I started a business and was very fortunate and blessed to be successful. And, you know, there's something to be said for signing the fronts of paychecks and immediate payroll. Because as a business owner, you get paid last. And that really does help when you're a legislature, or whether it's local, state, or federal level. Because you know you want those business owners to succeed. Because they employ more people in large companies than they can aggregate. And that is a wonderful journey. And it's also afforded me the blessing and opportunity to follow